Welcome to the Triple Doink podcast, episode 5, I think.
I think we are on the
Is
Cinco.
this 5?
We are on
Yeah.
Cinco, one away from Mayo. 1 month away from Mayo. That
Yeah.
I
Um
can't believe I butchered that.
that was bad.
Dude,
Anyway,
I'm tired.
the voice you're hearing on the other end there is my good friend Bryce. Okay, bear with me on this one. The oh, I can't even say it without laughing.
Jesus.
The Aximili Escaroth is still to my Tobias the Animorph. How are you,
What
Bryce?
the fuck, animals? Wow.
Yeah,
Can't
had
say
to
I
go.
expected that. Every week with you, it's just something else. It's gonna be some obscure science fiction thing from the mid 2000s. That's all I know.
Mm, well,
Early to mid.
hasn't
Early to mid.
it hasn't been all science fiction either. I did a
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings one in there, but
It's. I guess that's
yeah,
fantasy. Yeah.
I gotta. I
You
need to
gotta.
actually like write down a list of these instead of just like coming up with them on the fly, like 10 minutes before the podcast.
Either way, they work beautifully.
Anyway, um, my name is Ryan. His name is Bryce,
Hi.
and this is the Triple Doink podcast, of course. Um,
If you're wondering
so
why, yeah, I think I should explain why there's no
yeah,
image and all
you
that.
you have you have some things to say, so go ahead.
So I woke up like 5-10 minutes ago for this podcast. Very professional. I know. However, the reason so I wasn't able to make like any beta paint uh drawings, if you would call them that. And the reason why I had such a bad time sleeping last night was because all my sheets and blankets and pillows and everything are still wet. Now, why would they be wet? Why what could have made all these
Oh God.
various things so wet? So I put them in the washer earlier yesterday, to wash them. That went fine. It said it would take 35 minutes. It took 75 minutes. Uh then I went through 3 drying cycles because each time I tried to take them out, they weren't drying. After the third time, I just said fuck it. I have a hair dryer, and that worked way better. They're still soaking wet, but I could sleep kind of.
See,
I
I'm glad that you're sharing your misfortunes with
Yeah,
me and with the audience.
the
That
worst.
that was well worth my time, I've got to say, to hear about
No,
that.
I need a rant about this because I do not like that this school decides to get like washers that are 15 years old and don't maintain them.
No, that's fine. I definitely have something to rant about a little later, so it's fine.
Is it about
Okay.
our old boy Russ?
No, well, I don't think that one's as much a rant, but we'll see when we get into it.
All right.
Um, okay, so before we get into football stuff, last week's podcast went really long because we got sidetracked on some tangents.
Some
Um,
beautiful tangents.
yeah, it was fun, and I enjoyed it, but I realized we left some loose ends, or I did, and I just want to tie those up right now. Um, so in our Half Life discussion last week, um, Bryce had asked if there was a female character in Half Life, and I believe you were referring to Alex Vance, but I said no, she's not in Half Life 1, she's only in Half Life 2. That is true. However, There is a female sprite for Half-Life. There is only one female human sprite, I should say,
Yeah.
because there's definitely a mother head crab at one point that you have to kill. But anyway, um, the female sprite is the Black Ops female character. There's only, I think, 3 or 4 of them in the game, and they're all in one section of the game. But they're
They're there.
they're there, and they're really actually strong. Like, you have to be really careful in that section. You have to kind of sneak around and kill them before they notice you, because otherwise, if one of them is alerted to your presence, it alerts all the others, and they have silencer pistols which do a lot of damage.
I see.
So yeah. And
All
also
right.
the guy on YouTube that I have watched that I like his walkthroughs of Half Life is Big Mac Davis. That's his YouTube name. So check that out if you care about Half Life, I guess.
All right.
Um, and then the other loose end that I had to tie up. So in uh, in describing how I would rearrange the teams in the National Basketball Association to to make more geographical sense, I forgot all about the Memphis Grizzlies, which are probably the biggest problem in the NBA in this sense for a couple different reasons, and I'll get
Their
into that in a
jerseys.
bit. Hmm?
Their
No, this is just for rearranging teams so that their team name matches the city that they're in.
You're telling me there's no grizzly bears in Memphis, Tennessee?
That's not the only problem though, because they were the Vancouver Grizzlies, which
Which
made
made a
sense.
lot of sense.
It's
That's a good one.
Vancouver. It's Vancouver. Of course, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and actually, looking at this, oh no, yeah, we're good. I wrote down a complete solution here, so I'm just going to go through it. So, uh, the the Utah Jazz, first of all, are moving back to New Orleans because the New Orleans Jazz makes a lot more sense. This unfortunately displaces the Pelicans. Now, I had said the Pelicans should go to Toronto, but that doesn't actually make a lot of sense.
Shouldn't they
Pelicans
be
are found,
coastal? Shouldn't they be
well,
coastal?
Pelicans are found like all throughout North America, but mainly on the coasts and then on the Great Lakes. So I figure let's move them to a Great Lakes city, Cleveland. Um, Problem with that is the Cavaliers are in Cleveland. Now, the unfortunate thing about the Cavaliers is that they have an extremely neutral name, which means they can go anywhere and it
They
wouldn't make
go
a
to
difference.
Memphis.
Well, no. I'm going to come back to the Cavaliers in a minute. Because going to Memphis are going to be the Los Angeles Clippers. Because the Clippers are named after Clipper ships. They were initially in San Diego when they became the Clippers, and then they moved to LA, which just doesn't make sense because
What's that Clipper ship?
Los Angeles has no history with Clipper ships that I can tell.
What's Clipper
But
ships?
Memphis, being a port city on the Mississippi River, absolutely does. So the Memphis Clippers. So now where do we put the Grizzlies?
What's a Clipper ship?
They? What now?
What's a Clipper ship? I don't know what those are.
I think there's a lag going on right now.
Oh, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Hello? Hello. Can you hear me okay? Are you good? Are you good? Hello, Ryan. Hello. Hello. I cannot hear you. Talking? Hello? Unfortunate. This is unfortunate. Hello? There. Well, it would be on his, which means that to interrupt his tirade on these, I guess I have to fill in this empty space with the beautiful and serene voice that is mine. What shall I be talking about as he tries to get his shit back?
Okay,
Well,
I'm trying this again. Are you able to hear me right now?
I am able to hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was gonna go on a whole segment about that was just reading my Twitter timeline.
Okay, good. Um, Save that though, because there's a good chance that these problems could happen again.
All right. So anyway, what's a Clipper ship?
Right. It's a particular kind of. Well, I think we saw some of them when we were in St. Louis together. Uh,
Really?
yeah. You remember when we went and we went to the arch and we stood and just looked up at it and then left? Um,
Yeah.
well, that's a whole nother story, by the way. Um,
We come there like 5 minutes after it closed.
yes. But anyway, they use them as like ferries now, I think. Let me find a picture.
Yeah, I could look up a picture. Don't worry. I could provide one.
Well, actually, hang on. Am I even thinking of the right type of ship? I'm not. Damn. This is
It's a
going to screw up my
powerful
whole thing.
Windows-based shipping software application that enables users to achieve their. A Clipper was a very fast-sailing ship of the middle third of the 19th century. Jesus, that's a bad sentence. Developed from a
Yeah.
type of schooner known as Baltimore. Baltimore.
You know, I was thinking of something else entirely. I'm going to have to look into this a little bit more. But
They were
okay,
named after these ships.
assuming that Clippers make sense with Memphis, and now I'm not so sure that it does. We're just going to continue, and I might have to revise this next time. But okay, so the Clippers to Memphis. Now, what to do with the Grizzlies? They came from Vancouver originally. So the instinct would be send them back to Vancouver. The problem is there was another city in the Pacific Northwest that I think is more deserving, and that's Seattle, which lost the Supersonics to Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
So,
Supersonics I miss.
so we're gonna make the Grizzlies the Seattle Grizzlies now. And now this means that Los Angeles has lost a team, which I'm fine with. Um, so then we have to deal with the other Los Angeles team, which is the Lakers, which makes no sense. So they, of course, are going to move back to Minneapolis, where they were before, which is the only place where their name makes sense.
The Lakers, yeah.
Yeah. And that displaces the Timberwolves, who are going to shorten their name to just the Wolves and move to Toronto. Because Toronto is basically the only other NBA city that has a wolf population near it. Yeah, I looked this up, and like the unfortunate thing here is that the Wolves and the Lakers, both teams only make sense in Minnesota. So
fair, yeah.
it's unfortunately the Wolves are getting like less accurate through this exercise, but it's worth it for all the other teams. So the Toronto Wolves now, and then of course the Raptors, who are in Toronto, become the Utah Raptors.
That's such a good name.
Which
Honestly.
is the best name of any of them.
Objectively so.
And that wraps things up, except that we still have an issue here, which is that with a team in Memphis, now the Memphis Grizzlies presently play in the Western Conference, which does not make any sense because the NBA divides its teams by the Mississippi River.
Now hold up. I want to talk about these Wolves a little more. The Anchorage Wolves would make sense.
Well, yeah, but Anchorage, really?
Yeah.
You want to put a team in Alaska?
Why not? They need a team. They don't have anything for. any other sport. And with
No.
basketball, you're always inside, so it doesn't really matter. And you'll always have home field advantage.
Yeah, but
I
then
think
we'd
I
have to
think it
take
would
a
be a
team.
really good.
Then we'd have to take a team away from Toronto potentially, and they're deserving of a team.
Not as deserving as America.
But part of the NBA's appeal is that they're international because they have one team that's not in America.
But they already have a Vancouver team based on this document.
No, they don't because we moved them to Seattle.
Shit. So we're just take. I don't feel as bad taking away from Canada as you might though.
I just don't think that Anchorage is a very attractive destination for a team. I think there's a reason that Alaska doesn't have any professional sports teams.
Okay, what about Boise State?
Boise State? What about them?
Wolves go into Idaho. There's a lot of wolves in Idaho.
Yeah, I looked this up though, and no state comes even remotely close to Minnesota. Like it's ridiculous because Minnesota actually has wolves protected, and no other state has that.
I see.
Wisconsin might protect them too, but that came into play like in recent years, so the populations are still nowhere near Minnesota's.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So, Toronto and the Raptors to Utah. So, as I was saying, the problem with Memphis is that it's on the east side of the Mississippi River, obviously, and for some reason the Grizzlies play in the Western Conference, and this reason is because they were the Vancouver Grizzlies. Well, the easiest solution to this is put Memphis in the Eastern Conference and put some Eastern Conference team in the Western Conference.
Which one would this be? The Milwaukee
Thought
Bucks.
was what now?
The Milwaukee Bucks are now a Western Conference team.
Crap.
Oh, are you lacking out again? Well, this is a great time to go to my Twitter timeline. Well, currently we got a Doge post. One that is quite morbid as it deals with Live Leak. The text on the image says, "Wow, it sure is a good day to go be at a cafe." And then under it is, "Wait, what the heck? Why is there a Live Leak watermark art there? Oh no, oh god no, something bad's about to happen. Oh no, what the fuck?" What a fantastic image. I'll give it 3 stars. The next one's politics, so I don't want to talk about it. We got a gift from one of my friends. I don't know what it pertains to, and I don't really care. You got oh, wait, this is so good. I'm gonna put this up. Alright. Alright, hopefully this works. Did it work? Yeah! Alright, now I got this fantastic image up on screen. No, I need to go back to the dashboard or the editor. There it is. Look at that. It's so true. It is a beautiful meme, beautiful image. Give this a whole 5 stars out of 5. Don't worry, I'm filling in the gaps. All right, so as we move on from that beautiful image, we'll go. We got actually some football. Los Angeles Rams are looking inside the ball with their construction. Seems to be going good. Broken Shard, a League of Legends professional team coach, is talking about he's talking about EU Masters, just this big European tournament of like minor teams that it's just a lot of fun to watch, even though all the teams are kind of subpar. I think a good player is actually, but where is Vonda? Vonda because Poland, by the way. Well, and that was the sound of him disconnecting. Vonda. What's he? Rogue Esports is the team he's on. That is interesting. All right.
Okay, I think I'm back now, and I think it might be fixed.
This is perfect. I've been filling it in with tweets from my timeline. Uh,
Great.
One of the best images I will actually link to you in the chat so you know exactly what's on screen right now and will remain on screen until otherwise stated.
Okay. Um. Okay. That's good.
It's a good one, right?
Yeah. So, all right. What is the last thing you heard me say?
I cannot remember that far back.
Okay. Well, I think I was talking about the problem with Memphis being on the east side of the Mississippi River,
Yes.
which means the Grizzlies play in the Western Conference but are on the wrong side of the river. So basically, we need to put Memphis in the east and move an east team to the west. Now, I thought about just flipping New Orleans because the river kind of runs right through that city. So it kind of makes sense to just flip them to the west. But then I looked it up, and Smoothie King Center, perhaps the dumbest name for a professional sports arena.
Smoothie King Center is the name of
That
the
is where
stadium.
that's where the New Orleans Pelicans presently play, and where the New Orleans Jazz would play in this scenario. Unfortunately, the Smoothie King Center is actually it's actually to the north of the river because the river kind of bends and twists around.
It's right next to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome as well.
Yes.
You got one of these really prestigious Superdomes right next to Smoothie King.
But anyway, it's what they call the East Bank in New Orleans. So it is on the east side of the river. So it doesn't really make sense to flip them. So it raises the question: what is the least necessary NBA team? And Bryce, what do you think the least necessary NBA team is?
If you say the Phoenix Suns,
I'm not going to say the Phoenix Suns.
there we go.
No.
I cannot tell you actually.
Well, the answer is the Los Angeles Clippers, but we already resolved that issue. So the second most, or the second least necessary team then is the Orlando Magic.
What?
There's just no reason to have a team in Orlando.
But they're magical.
It's just pointless.
But they're
Like,
magical.
so Orlando Magic fans, you're just gonna have to go to either Miami to be Heat fans or go north to Atlanta. Those are your options because the Magic are moving, and we did take two teams away from Los Angeles. So the Orlando Magic, named for their connection with Disney World, are now going to LA, where they will have a connection with Disneyland. So the Los Angeles Magic.
That makes.
Plus,
I guess.
Magic Johnson. He's there also.
Yeah, but he won't be with the org.
Sure, he will. He'll find a way.
Did you see the what he? Man, that reaction when he quit. Priceless.
Anyway, so that's my complete solution. So to recap, the Jazz go to New Orleans, the Pelicans go to Cleveland, the Cavaliers go to St. Louis, the Clippers to Memphis, the Grizzlies to Seattle, Lakers to Minneapolis, Wolves to Toronto, Raptors to Utah, and Magic to Los Angeles.
All right.
Thoughts on that, Bryce?
What a list. Just what a list.
God damn it.
What? Are you actually lagging out again? Wow, we get to go back to Twitter. Okay. Okay. So we have a me IRL post. Finally a good one because it pertains to the game that I watch. Uh After that we have a League of Legends. Let's watch this video. Let's watch this video. I don't think you guys can see it. And you know what? That's okay. It's about it's just a recap. It's a recap. It's flashback.
Okay, how about now?
Okay, I can hear you. I've always been able to hear you, and no matter what, no matter how much you lag, I still hear you just fine. If you can't hear me, that's a different story. Me at the store. Mom, can I have Minecraft? No, we have games at home. Games at home. Fortnite.
Okay, so I'm not hearing you now. Are you able to hear me?
I'm able to hear you.
I see your circle lining up. Or lighting up. I'm just not hearing you.
Boom, boom, boom. I want you in my room so we can get together. I just saw a reference to the John F. Kennedy shooting. However, the video that they are using is 360 no scope on hi hat in Modern Warfare 2. Fantastic video. I'm giving this a like. Stellaris has a new update. Okay, not gonna get it. Don't play enough Stellaris. We got some NFL prospects. Not a lot of information there. Like it's that people are way over analyzing. That's part of the fun, but it's like
Okay. Are you able to hear me now?
I've always been able to hear you. There's never been any problem of hearing you.
I am not hearing you though.
No.
Okay. Sorry. Keep vamping. Just give me a minute.
All right. Yeah, I support the LGBTQ. Lois, Meg, Brian, Stewie, and Quagmire. Apparently, you can pet the dog in a game called Rescue Wings. Because I follow a Twitter account called Can You Pet the Dog? Asking the age-old question, can you pet the dog in said video game? Got some Notre Dame posts. My GM stands for get money, but good morning though. You got something about an Oklahoma offensive lineman visiting with the Panthers today. Oh man, hiccuping. Around the NFL, talking about the 5 quarterbacks that were taken in the first round of last year. How many will come off the board if they won this round? Probably 3. Probably 3. You got. Let's talk about football, I guess. You know, something that this podcast was originally about or something. Oh my. Let's see. Dwayne Haskins is good. He'll be picked in the first round. Drew Lock will be picked in the first round, and Kyle Murray will be. Those are my picks. Gardner Minshew will be a 3rd to 6th round pick, and the Patriots are going to get him, and he's going to be great on the Patriots because he's going to be the guy who's going to start for the next few years. And there he goes again. Just nearly crashed my car listening to a 12:59 podcast. I cannot shake that none of you Have had rhubarb crumble, queen of desserts. Oof. Okay. It's because I follow around the NFL guys, and they do other podcasts that I really do not care about. Takes you in inner circle year's most enigmatic draft prospect. What does Kyler Murray really want? Orion. You got Orion, but they lost. The sound of like a Gen 1 Pokemon cry. Yeah? That's, I think, a lynx, right? Caracal. It's a caracal. Oh. Oh, Cash. My friend Cashew. You got Washington safety Tyler Rapp visiting with the Panthers as well. He recently met with the Seahawks too. Miami defensive lineman is visiting with the Cardinals. Cool. Like all these are just about draft prospects, and it's like I have no idea what they are. Like I've not watched any film except for the quarterbacks, which I've watched extensively. Oh, oy vey, oy vey. Some more. Got Mortal Kombat news. People being weird. I'm
not. Boo boo do see what?
No, that's gross. What I just saw. I don't like what that was. Field Yates reporting on Travis Benjamin and Chargers agreeing on a 1-year extension to 2020. $5 million signing, but wow, really? That guy's worth $5 million? Okay. Isn't Travis Benjamin the guy who drops a lot of passes for the Bills? He's like one of the most like, yo, this guy's insane if he catches the ball. Benjamin deal includes a $3 million signing bonus, not 5.5. That sounds more likely. There we go. All right, you got Travis Frederick working out with Cowboys teammates. Whatever, I don't. Not. People getting political on my timeline, making me go like, stop. These, What the heck? Is Jin okay? Oh, Fusarin, one of my League of Legends Twitter analysts that I follow on Twitter.com. Everyone makes fun of them, Twitter analysts. However, Jin Green Wings. They 2-0 ES Sharks. Linderang, Root, and Kellen are fine. Linderang is just a below average LCK top laner. And then you got Root and Kellen, who are just gonna fuck people up.
Okay, Bryce. I've done some things.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
There you go.
Okay, let's let's just hope that this works now.
This works. I've been rambling on about my Twitter timeline for I think 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Anthony
I
Fantano
heard
said good morning to us.
I heard scattered bits and pieces of your ramblings. So I thank you for doing that.
Don't
I'll hear
worry.
the
I can
whole
fill
thing
empty set.
later.
I can still keep going.
Okay. Well, hopefully we won't need to keep going with that. Um so anyway,
$140 million.
okay.
I just saw the Wilson news.
Oh yeah. Um well, should we get into that?
Yeah, let's just, intro too long. Football, start now.
Yeah. So the big news, of course, is Russell Wilson getting his contract extension last night. Um, and well, do you have anything you want to say about that before I start?
He is their franchise quarterback. He is that good. I think that his raw skill on the field gets underplayed because people think he's just some god of like communicating and like bringing people together. I don't, or maybe they just think it's Pete Carroll, but you never hear Russell Wilson like in talks with people who are. He's never like in talks with people like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, but he's just as good. He's been a top 5 quarterback for over 5 years now, and I don't understand why he gets this stigma behind him. It's not like he's got any weapons that are fantastic around him. Doug Baldwin is way past his prime. He's got Tyler Lockett. He's got a lot of rookie running backs, and he's still performing quite elegantly. I will have to say, earlier last season, he did cause a lot of problems in the pocket, even though his line wasn't that good. Some of them were only on him, but he's a fantastic quarterback. I really like
Yeah,
Russell Wilson. He's fun to watch too.
I have to agree with you on pretty much everything you just said. Um, he's well worth the money, and here's what annoys me though is that all day yesterday, because Wilson set this deadline of yesterday, Monday, April 15th, as the last day that he was willing to discuss a new contract before the season. Basically, if they didn't get it done yesterday, they would have to wait until the next off season. So all day yesterday, you get all this stupid speculation from people that, oh, Russell Wilson's not going to sign. He's going to become a free agent in a couple years, or he's going to get traded. All this shit. And it's
They would never allow that to happen.
exactly like I knew the entire time that this long-term contract was going to happen. And like if it didn't happen now, it was going to happen in next off season. Like they weren't going to go the Kirk Cousins route of franchise tagging him year after year. Like that just wasn't going to happen. I mean, it annoys me that like professionals, and I say that word in air quotes,
Yeah.
that professional analysts are saying are basically spreading these rumors that Russell Wilson is going to get traded and
There's
all that
no,
stuff.
there was nothing that was good.
There was no possible way that was going to happen.
I just ignored those because I'm just like, yeah, no shit. He's not gonna get traded.
It's
Kidding
just
me?
it's so annoying the amount of just
What
stupid
makes Russell
speculation though.
Wilson so valuable is that he's smart. It's not even his like arm. It's just that he's smart. He actually
Yeah.
controls the football like on par with how Brady does. He's just more improvisational than Brady will ever be.
He's a good football player, and the odds are that if you trade him away, you're not going to get a better quarterback. Even if you absolutely love somebody like Kyler Murray and you know you could get him,
He's not
like,
going to be as good as Russell.
well, and
It's
whether he
too
is or
risky.
not,
It's
you're
too risky.
exactly whether he's as good as Russell Wilson or better or not, you're still taking a huge risk by giving up this sure thing that you have in your building right now. So like it was just never going to happen, and it annoys me that it spread, those rumors spread the way they did.
Yeah. I just blurred them out because I was like, I don't care. I know it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, and I knew that too the entire time. I was just very annoyed by it. But anyway, um shall we move on to the next thing?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean that was a lot shorter than we thought it was gonna be,
Mhm.
but I think it's just because we're in agreement.
So the other well, the next thing I have is about Aaron Rodgers again. So last week we talked about the whole Rodgers McCarthy thing that came out, the Tyler Dunn article and all that. Um, and since then, Rodgers and Mark Murphy and Mike McCarthy and a bunch of other people involved have come out and sort of uh, spoken out against the article. And Rodgers was probably the strongest. He said that it was clearly just a writer trying to advance his own career through, made up stuff and
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
But I mean, of
And
course they're gonna say that, and of course,
yeah, and
and
fine. And I believe that not everything in that article was completely true. I believe that there is some truth to it though. Um the one thing that sort of struck me though is that both Rogers and Mark Murphy like strongly came out and denied that the conversation ever happened where Murphy said to Rogers, "Don't be the problem," when they right after they decided to hire Matt LaFleur. And according to both of them now, that never happened.
I
So,
mean,
and
uh,
it's
I'll
like,
say I'll say it again. I don't care about like articles about this person feels this way.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
it's just like I don't care. I came to
And
watch. God, like I came to watch football. I don't care about their feelings. Can they throw the ball and then they get touchdowns? That's all I care about. At the end of the day.
yeah, and I definitely hear that. And I honestly, I'm very tired of this story too. But it's it's just clear that my main takeaway from this is that Rogers understands now that the microscope is on him, and I think that the whole organization now understands that, and it feels to me like Aaron Rodgers is now out to prove that he's not the problem in Green Bay, and hopefully he can do that, and that means team success. So we'll see how it goes. But like you said, I just want to see people play football. That's it.
That's all I care about. Yeah.
Um, so in other Aaron Rodgers news, he also revealed that the injury he suffered back in week 1 against Chicago was more serious than it was reported at the time. Um, so we knew that he had an MCL sprain, and apparently he also had what is called a tibial plateau fracture.
I see.
I don't really know what that is, but apparently it's very painful, as you would imagine. And so he was even more limited than we thought. And even after he appeared to be doing better towards the end of the season, he was still not quite himself. And we could see that on the field, but it's good to know at least that, you know, maybe that was part of the reason that he had such a bad year statistically, which
Rogers?
by the way, okay, not a bad year by the standards of NFL
But a
quarterbacks.
bad year by the standard of Rogers.
Exactly. Yes. Um. So, I mean, that's something. I just wish that these injuries would be reported more accurately. it's like anytime you get a player like Todd Gurley, it's the same thing. They were like, "Oh yeah, he's fine. He'll be great." And then the playoffs and the Super Bowl happened and he just clearly wasn't himself.
It's like,
And like
yeah, they can say what they want, but like we're just gonna believe what we see, because
it's
actions
just
speak louder than words.
it's just annoying. Ugh. But anyway, I don't want to get into all that right now. Um so moving on, away from the Packers for now. The Patriots signed Austin Safarian Jenkins. Uh so one washed up tight end who can't move replaces another.
Yay!
Any thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a Patriot move. There's nothing.
Okay, good. I thought I was
Yeah,
lagging for a second, but I think we're good.
yeah. I don't think there's nothing. I don't think there's anything to
Yeah.
really yeah.
I mean, it's Patriots fans are all excited that he's going to be the new Gronk, but I mean, he's just not. So, moving on. The next thing I have. Okay, so another injury that was not like reported as accurately as it should have been. Carson Wentz, the Eagles quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he's still not fully recovered from the back injury that he suffered last year. And that's kind of a scary one. Anytime you've got the spinal cord involved, that can be scary. Um, so I mean, I don't know. Carson Wentz didn't look like himself most of last year coming back from that ACL. And then of course he hurt his back and was definitely not himself and had to miss the end of the season.
Again,
So
so many injuries for an early QB.
yeah,
It's not
you
good.
wonder about longevity for a player like that. And Carson Wentz, we've seen when he's healthy, he can be special, but he hasn't been healthy in a while. And you and I in our predictions, of course, we'll get into this eventually, are pretty high on the Eagles. And this, if Carson Wentz is still battling through this back injury, that could really hurt our prediction.
Mm-hmm.
So something to keep an eye on as we move toward the season. We'll see how Carson Wentz is doing. More contract extension talk. The Vikings, they extended one of your favorite players, Adam Thielen. They signed him to a 4-year, $64 million deal.
I'm about
That
to
could.
say something that you're not gonna like.
Oh, okay. What are you gonna say?
The best receiver in the AFC and the NFC North just got an extension.
Well, I still think Devontae Adams is a better player.
Adam Thielen will not only have a longer career because of his particular skill set, which is running routes, and that doesn't slow down as much as like just. It's not his raw athleticism that's keeping him afloat, right? It's just his brain and his way to psych people out. And if he continues to just use that in routes, he's gonna be perfectly fine, and he's gonna always have a slot in the NFL.
I mean, no respect from you for your boy Allen Robinson.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That man disrespected the greatest quarterback to have ever played the game. The best of all time. The GOAT himself. How do you think I feel about Allen Robinson?
I mean, here's the other thing. We don't know what Equanimous St. Brown is going to do.
What?
I mean, he could end up being a number one receiver. We don't know.
Isn't he that Lions like rookie?
No,
Last year?
he was the Packers rookie.
Oh yeah,
Remember
yeah.
the all names trio of Equanimous St. Brown, Marquez Valdez Scantling, and Geronimo Allison?
The unpronounceable trio.
Yep. Um. So anyway, uh, yeah, Adam Thielen is clearly a good player. I mean, whether he's the best in that division, I don't know, but he deserves this extension. I feel like underappreciated league wide. He had an incredible year last year. It was like how many straight games with 100 yards or more. Like he had a great season. Clearly a valuable player. Good signing for the Vikings. I wish it didn't happen as a Packers fan, but good move for that team.
Yeah.
So other receivers getting extended. The Giants, they just can't catch a break. They extended Sterling Shepard, 4 years, $41 million, and I mean they've just been getting killed, of course, because he's supposed to be the replacement for Odell Beckham. And it's like I like Sterling Shepard.
But
In a vacuum, all of the moves that the Giants have made since the Beckham trade have kind of made sense.
I will
With
say,
between
I
like
think I
they
still
sign
believe that Eli
Golden
Manning's
Tate,
going
they
to be.
extend Sterling Shepard. All these things make sense, but it's just the Beckham move casts such a negative light on that organization that they just get killed for everything now.
I'm just gonna say it. They're gonna do fine. They're gonna do fine.
Honestly,
It's gonna be better. They will be better.
honestly, it's
team
kind of funny. Like I don't
without
like the
Odell.
Giants, so I'm happy when bad things happen to them.
Eli Manning will be a better quarterback without Odell Beckham. I think that everyone can agree with this.
Okay.
Eli Manning did not treat Odell Beckham correctly on the field. He did not use his decision making. He did not throw checkdowns when Odell Beckham was on the field. And it was only with this receiver that he treated him like some god. And it's why his stat line was so poor. It's why he made some bonkers throws. He's gonna be fine. I think he'll be. I think he'll just perform as he used to. I think this aging Eli shit will be put to rest next year, whether we like it or not, and he'll still be in the NFL by come 2020.
Well, okay. He'll still be in the NFL come 2020.
As a
He
starter.
probably will.
As a starter.
He probably will still be in the NFL.
As a Giant.
Good chance he's still the starting quarterback of the Giants because that organization's a mess. But the aging Eli thing is not going away. He's done. He has no arm strength anymore, and we're going to see that play out. The Giants are going to have another terrible year, despite the talent that they have on that offense because of Eli Manning.
No.
We'll just have to wait and see.
We'll see, but no. The more this looks like a team that can win 8 games.
Maybe.
No,
but we'll see.
8 games is their floor.
Mm-hmm. What did we predict that they were going to do, Bryce?
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
No, I'm gonna
No,
we real quick.
Can't spoil.
Oh yeah, 8 games is their floor, all right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's all I'll say. Anyway, so moving on from the Giants, let me get back to my news thing. I'm having to do this with one monitor now because my Ethernet cable that I went and got is not quite long enough to reach to my desk. So I'm having to sit in my doorway with my laptop, and I can't have it plugged into my other screen. So that sucks.
I see.
So anyway, the next news here is Reuben Foster. So this is interesting. He apparently is being reinstated now without suspension. If you recall, he was released by the 49ers when when domestic violence allegations came out against him back in November. Those charges have been dropped. Washington signed him immediately, which is just a stupid move, honestly. But
Signing
anyway, Reuben Foster.
I don't know who he is.
Well, he was a first round pick of the 49ers a few years ago, but he's had a lot of off the field issues.
Reuben
Um,
Foster. What position is that?
Linebacker.
My. Oh, him.
So, I mean,
That makes more sense.
he's obviously a talented player on the field, but it's just like, is he a really bad person? Maybe. Like, you know, but he's getting another chance now in the NFL. Apparently, rather than being suspended, he's just going to be fined his first 2 game checks. So he's going to not get paid for the first 2 games, but he's going to get to play. So that certainly, if he still has the same, if he's still at the same level that we saw the last time he was on the field, that's a big help for the Washington defense. They could certainly use him.
I see.
So we'll see how that goes. Another signing here. The Panthers, Carolina Panthers signed Chris Hogan, the former Bills and Patriots receiver who sort of rose to prominence a couple of years ago in the Patriots Super Bowl run. The Super Bowl, which one was that he was really a part of? He wasn't so much a part of that offense last year, but the year before, I think he was still doing good things for him.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I don't think he's going to do much in Carolina. Do you?
Carolina, I don't think is gonna do much.
I mean, it's just like I feel like Hogan has sort of been a product of the Brady Belichick offense, and he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna fail in any other offense because he wasn't all that good in Buffalo before he went to New England. I mean, prove me wrong, Chris Hogan. I don't think you're that good. I mean, he put up some really good numbers in New England, but a lot of receivers have put up good numbers with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
So that's it pretty much for news. I have one more item, which is that the Packers have signed kicker Sam Ficken.
What?
So,
oh yeah, I remember that. You were like saying, well, the Packers got this kicker. He's not gonna make it well one, but it's gonna be Mason Crosby competition. I'm gonna make him play good. I'm just like, I don't care.
yeah, I mean, he's not gonna. I'd be shocked if Sam Ficken is still on the roster week 1, but the last time that Crosby had a really bad year, well, and this past year honestly was not really bad outside of a couple games.
I think he just had
But
2 duds and like whatever.
well, there were three games I think that he screwed up. There was the game against Detroit where he missed 4 field goals. Obviously, there was the week 2 tie against Minnesota where he missed the game-winning field goal at the end of regulation, and the Cardinals game, Mike McCarthy's last game, Crosby missed a game-tying field goal at the end of regulation that lost that game. So it was really 3 games that he really screwed the Packers over. But anyway, the point is, I think Mason Crosby will turn it around. But when he had that really bad year several years ago, they brought in another kicker in training camp, had them compete. Crosby won out, and he's been a great kicker for us ever since. So
Crosby is weird. He seems to just have
dude, the
weird.
kicker position in general is weird.
It's all nerves. The position's all nerves, and I think that Crosby's just the type of person who maybe sometimes just gets lackluster and forgets what the process is that he goes through in order to get into that mindset. I think that's the big thing with him because it's all a mental game.
Mm.
There is 10% skill, 90% mental fortitude.
I'm just glad that you didn't start quoting Mike Shinoda.
100% reason to remember the name.
Yeah. What the hell? Okay, can you vamp again for a second?
Hello. Why? How does it do?
Sorry, I think my dog is terrorizing my cat. I gotta go stop that.
All right. Apparently, Bitcoin is big in Korea. So if you have Magic the Gathering cards worth any money, go to Korea and you can actually trade Bitcoin. And get, like, what you can do, have your Bitcoin that you had because you fucked up and got a lot of it and did all that ray tracing razor, got a lot of 1080p graphics cards. You got. And it was like, shit, I'm broke out of money. Oh, wait. These motherfuckers want to buy Magic the Gathering cards for my shit for nothing Bitcoin? Sure. When you get a surprise, I can't say that. Ooh, there's gonna be a new Listen Loco with a man named Curry Law, the Fly Quest Academy coach. That'll be a discussion Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So today. Smacking my lips with the gum. Got a lot of anime stuff out of nowhere. Today I will exist. Then he cries. Yeah, most of my friends are like that. Baby sloth, do. Okay, there's a cute baby sloth. Got some game news for games I don't play and don't really care for. Man, the fact that Faker, over the course of 8 finals, one of which he didn't play, so we're not going to count that. So 7 finals, his record is 19-6. Half of those losses came from the only final he ever lost in match scores, because in League of Legends they're best of 5s. And then you got Double Lift, who I think is 20-7. He is 20-7 in the course of 7 finals as well. Yes.
Okay, I'm back.
Incredibly dominant players. Hello.
Yeah, had to chase my dog around the house. That's fun. So, anyway, I think we're at the end of the news. Pretty slow news week.
That's okay.
Now my dog's barking.
That's okay. No one's gonna complain about a dog going arf.
So anyway, the only other thing that was in the news is the schedule for this coming season is coming out tomorrow. So we don't have access to it just yet, but hopefully next week I'll have put our spreadsheet in order, and we'll talk about that next time. So that's always exciting. But anyway, was there anything else you wanted to touch on? Like I said, not a lot really happened in this past week.
I think we're just preparing for the draft.
Yeah, pretty much. So before we get into predictions for this week, I did want to just do one thing quick. So, I mentioned this on last week's podcast, but famously, Bryce and I had an earlier podcast called Doctors and Dragons. And
were you able to watch the new episode?
No, I'm not caught up yet. So I still have a long way to go to get caught up on Game of Thrones.
Which episode you on? On what season?
Okay, so I am near the end of season 3 now. So I happen to know. Okay, but before I say anything else, this discussion is going to contain some Game of Thrones spoilers.
Yeah, from like 5 seasons ago. 5
okay,
years.
But here's
if you didn't watch it in this time, suck it up, Buttercup.
Here's the thing. I'm just warning people who maybe are like me, that are just starting it now and in anticipation for this season and are trying to get caught up. So if you care about that, there's going to be some spoilers now. Anyway, so yes, I am on the next episode I have to watch is the 9th episode of season 3, which I know because I've had this spoiled for me is the famous or infamous Red Wedding.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be interesting.
Do you know who exactly?
No, I do not.
That's gonna be.
So this should be fun. But anyway, I brought this up to Bryce over the weekend, and I really do miss having a podcast about this show because there's a lot of things that I would like to just say.
Like
So
what?
I'm just gonna say a couple things right now. So there was a point where Arya, after Ned Stark was killed, she had to disguise herself as a boy in order to travel north with the group of boys who were being taken to the Wall.
One of my
And
character development. She has a lot of character development in this show.
so during that portion of the show, she was going by Aerie, which makes sense because it's sort of like the masculine version of Arya.
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile, there's another development with Bran where they find out that he's a warg. So he's got these sort of mystical powers. And I just really wish that they had done that to Arya too, so that at some point somebody could say the line, "You're a wizard, Aerie."
Oh my lord, dude! Come on.
Yeah. See, this is the kind of shit that I would like to be able to share with the people, Bryce.
That people did not need to know about this. This is not needed.
The people did not need to know.
You had so much. Why?
Okay, so
Bad puns aside.
The next thing I wanted to talk about is back when we were doing the podcast, we had I remember in a discussion we were talking about my favorite and least favorite characters so far, and at the time I said I really hate Viserys Targaryen, Daenerys' brother, and I remember our friend William saying something along the lines of, "Yeah, he's pretty universally hated," and he said there's one character later who is probably more universally hated,
Yeah.
but Viserys is up there. And I knew at the time, because things had been spoiled for me, that William was talking about Ramsay Bolton. And
yeah,
I believe anyway. But anyway,
I think I know what you're getting at. Regardless,
all I want to say about Ramsay Bolton is holy shit.
he's amazing.
That guy is fucking evil.
Reek is one of my favorite characters in the show. I really like Reek.
So anyway, yeah, that's whew. That's really something.
Oh yeah. I'm feeling sausage today.
Yeah. Anyway, so then the last thing I wanted to say about Game of Thrones is in recent episodes, and it's only happened twice now, and I don't know if it's going to happen again, but I really hope that by the end of this series, I can watch just a very long compilation of Sam failing to light fires. Like,
what an amazing character. Let's be real here.
It's only happened twice, but he just does not understand how fires work. And
he doesn't understand a lot of things.
He's just very bad at it.
He does read. Think about it.
And like, I just in the last episode that I watched, there was a scene where he's with Gilly and he's trying to light this fire, and she hands him the baby and then just like completely shifts this entire pile of wood that he was trying to light on fire, and immediately it goes up in flames. And I'm just for some reason that's just hilarious to me. I don't understand why.
Physical manifestation of all the audience watching the show.
Maybe. Maybe. Um. So anyway, I like Sam. He's a good character.
I think Sam is the most universally liked character.
Yeah, I can understand why.
I mean,
So and
why would you hate Sam? He's just clumsy, fat, and likes to read and really happy.
mm,
He tries to keep a good mood during some of the
well,
most fucked
anyway,
up shit. Yeah.
for right
Do
now.
you want to
So
do the
um,
sheets then? Sorry?
segment for this week. Right. So we are starting, of course, with the Bears.
All right.
As we go through the NFC North here. So the Bears, we have projected to finish 11-5 on the regular season. So we have them splitting with the Packers and sweeping the Lions,
Hold up,
and then
hold up, hold up, hold up.
okay,
Slow down there, cowboy.
okay, we have the Bears splitting
Yeah,
with
you're good. You're good. You're good.
the Packers and Vikings and sweeping the Lions. Then we have them. We have two road losses for them at Eagles and at Rams, and those are pretty tough matchups.
I just noticed the typo. I'm gonna fix it before you see it. It wasn't on the Bears slide.
Oh, which one was it?
You had the Lions thing labeled Bears.
Oh, okay. Um, well, that's the second typo we've uncovered. So anyway, we have the Bears beating the racists on the road, um, and then winning at home against the Cowboys, Giants, and Saints. Then we have them beating the Chiefs and Chargers at home, losing on the road to the Broncos, and winning in Oakland.
Yeah.
For a total record of 11-5.
They seem like they're gonna be a good team again. Solid, Mac Nagy, everything.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, the Bears, as much as I dislike them as the Packers' biggest rival, they're a good team. I can't deny that. And honestly, they are a fun team to watch. Even though I'm usually rooting against them, they're fun to watch.
Undeniably fun. Like FUN.
Mm-hmm. That is how you spell it.
Yeah, all the fun in the world. Watching that org play right now because it's just solid defense in an offensive league, and it seems really well coached, and you just see this formulaic style of play.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
That game against the Rams, and it was a week or two, I think, after the double 50 burger game between the Rams and Chiefs.
Yeah,
And
I thought it was the week right after, right?
Was it? I don't remember, but
I can't remember either.
Basically the Bears just completely shut down the Rams offense, which had looked unstoppable to that point.
Yeah.
And I mean that was a startling statement.
Everyone just looked at like, whoa. That's
like,
gonna be what we're had to deal for the next at least 3 years.
If not for a double doink, I mean the Bears could have easily made the Super Bowl this year, I feel like. Because they would have been playing the Rams again in the divisional round. I feel like they could have won, and then on to the Saints, and who knows? Or actually, I don't know. Dallas could have even beaten New Orleans, and then I mean, who knows what would have happened? But yeah, that I feel like this team is for real.
That's why I have them. I think there's a prediction about them that I have.
Yeah.
That as a Packer fan you don't like, but as a football fan I really like.
Are there any results here that you would change?
Maybe they 2-0 the Vikings.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe they go into Denver and just did like home field. What's that? Oh, it's hot. Oh, this feels really weird playing with this low air. Nah.
Yeah, I could also see them sweeping the Packers, honestly.
That
And
one
I
much less
could
so, honestly, because
see
I don't
them
know.
beating the Eagles and or the Rams on the road. Like it could happen. Even though we're high on those teams, like a team with a good defense typically travels better than a team with a good offense.
yeah. I just am really excited to watch what they do. Because I know they're going to get more than 10 wins, but I don't know how many of these like big teams are just going to dominate.
Yeah. All right, so should we move on then?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to the Detroit Lions. So the Lions, we have splitting the Packers and getting swept by the Bears and then splitting the Vikings. Then we have them losing to the Eagles and we have them losing at the Cardinals, I think because we just needed to give the Cardinals a win. And we have them beating Washington in Washington. And then we have them beating the Cowboys, Giants, and Bucks at home. I'm surprised we had them beating the Cowboys, but I think we're just pretty low on the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are going to be inconsistent and messy this year, it seems.
Yeah.
However,
And then
that's
somehow,
I think that's just you being like James Garrett can't make the playoffs this year.
right? Yeah, Jason Garrett, that is.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, and I don't understand this, we have them beating the Chiefs at home. And we
talked about this last time. How we
talked about it last time when we did the Chiefs prediction, and I don't know what we were thinking exactly, but we have the Lions beating the Chiefs in Detroit. So how about that?
If we're right, we could pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah, we have them also beating the Raiders on the road and then losing at Denver and home to the Chargers. So they finish 8-8. And I feel like that's about right for this team. Like I honestly,
they could crash and burn either way too. I think that 8-8
like
is pretty high for them, honestly.
Honestly, I don't see them having fewer than 6 wins, and I don't see them having more than 10. Like I feel like they're right in the middle. They're just
average.
They are the average team in the NFL. Like I don't. They're just never going to be this team until they get some better talent. Is not going to be a good team, but they have Matthew Stafford who can sort of will them to a few wins, and they have a few decent players. And maybe with Matt Patricia in year 2, they take a step up. And honestly, 8-8 would be a step up because they were pretty abysmal last year. So, yeah, that's the Lions.
I feel bad for Matthew Stafford. He's such a good quarterback, and he's just trapped in hell.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last time. Yeah, I've always, even though he plays for a division rival, I've always liked Stafford. He's a good player stuck on a bad franchise.
Wasted potential is all I can see.
So, all right, shall we move on to my team?
Sure. Let's go to the, I guess, the highlight of the podcast, or the at least the most talked about team.
All right. So we have the Packers splitting their entire division. So they split the Bears, Lions, and Vikings. Then we have them winning at Dallas and at the G-Men, and then losing at San Francisco because everybody loses to the 49ers. That's going to be a common theme.
That's been a common theme.
As we go through the NFC predictions, you're going to see a lot of teams losing to the 49ers. Then we have them winning at home against the Eagles, Racists, and Panthers because Lambeau Field and home field advantage. Plus, we're not too high on the Racists or Panthers. Then we have them beating the Broncos and Raiders at home, losing at Chiefs, and winning at Chargers. And I think the at Chargers win is, again, that's basically a home game for the Packers.
Yeah.
So the Packers, like the Bears, also finish 11-5 on the season. So what do you think about this prediction? Because I honestly still stand by these results.
I think they're pretty accurate. I don't
Yeah.
see a. I mean, God, I love the 49ers hype train. Choo choo. Fuck.
Yeah.
Every year we have. It's got to be that way. They're just the best team in the league. I swear.
Yeah. One day we'll be right. So yeah, I stand by these predictions. I think that 11-5 is probably what I expect the Packers to do this year. I don't think they're quite there yet because I feel like first year under a new head coach, you can't have too high of expectations. But I think that they'll show us something, some potential, some reason to be optimistic for next year.
Mm-hmm.
At least I really hope so. So, all right, moving on to the Minnesota Vikings then. So the Vikings, we have splitting the Bears, Lions, and Packers. So like the Packers, they split the entire division.
Then they go on a tirade of losing on the road.
Yeah, they really do. They lose every single road game actually. We have them 0-8 on the road. So they lose the 3 division games on the road.
The
They
only
lose.
wins they pick up now are from the Redskins, the Broncos, and Raiders.
Yep. And then we have them losing on the road to the Cowboys, Giants, Seahawks, Chiefs, and Chargers, and then losing at home to the Falcons and Eagles. Yep.
For a total record of 6-10, they're able to be competitive in the division, but outside of it, they are quite abysmal.
Yes. And honestly, like, I could see the Vikings. I could see them actually surprising us a little bit and actually winning some of these games, maybe finishing with a more respectable record, but I think this is far more likely. I think that
Their
they're
defense
not.
sucks is the thing now.
It really, yeah, they're just not a good
Their
team on that
defense
side of the
sucks, and they
ball.
have a quarterback who's inconsistent and Heimlich, and when
Yeah.
he has pressure on him, that's not a good thing to have.
Nope.
Everyone is so low on Kirk Cousins now. I've never seen an entire the 180. Everyone was worried about how he was going to be, but everyone was still really hyped for him to go to Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's just oh, it's you can't use pressure at these intangibles as analysis, right? That was settled.
Well, honestly, I always liked Kirk Cousins in Washington. I was of the opinion that he is a good player and deserving of franchise quarterback money. But now after one season in Minnesota, I'm just not sure about that anymore.
Yeah, he's not the best fit for a team who needs a leader.
Yep. So that's the Vikings. And that's the NFC North. So we have the Bears and Packers both finishing 11-5, the Lions 8-8, and the Vikings 6-10. And I believe on tie breaks we determined the Bears would win this division.
Yes.
And again, that's based on
things that you won't know about until we get
right.
Everything.
Yeah. Or actually, no. I think division record is the first tie break, so we actually do know that. So yes, the Bears went 4-2 in the division. The Packers 3-3. So the Bears win the division on that tie break.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, so that's that. Any final thoughts on the NFC North, Bryce?
Nah, I mean the pack. It's a two-horse race. Two teams that are behind them are either just average or just inconsistent and don't have enough weapons on defense. Their defenses for the Lions and the Vikings are both really enigmatic this year. I have no idea how they're gonna be. Don't know what they're gonna do. Oh God, it's gonna just. We'll wait and see. But I don't
Yeah,
see
and
any reason to be hyped for those teams.
yeah, and to your point, I mean, like you said, they're enigmatic, like we don't know, but I would tend to skew toward the negative with both of those defenses.
Yeah,
Um, Even though Matt Patricia is a defensive mind, I just don't think that the Lions defense is going to be good.
that's
Um,
that's fair.
so so yeah, that's the NFC North. Hmm. It's interesting though that like a couple of years ago, this was like considered the strongest overall division in football. Like there were people talking about that, and they're like, these teams are all really solid. And then
Yeah, and
now it's just like the division winner is looking like an 11-5 team.
that's not bad. It's just not what it was, and that's kind of how the
Yeah,
game works.
yeah, it cycles. Except for the Patriots, they're always on top. So, all
Except
right.
for Belichick, he's always on top.
By the way, I next week I will want to come back to this, at least for the Packers, and talk about the schedule when it's out.
Okay,
Um, and I assume you'll want to talk about the Jag schedule too, and we can do that.
that comes out next week.
It's coming out tomorrow, actually. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
actually,
So, so yeah, um, we'll talk about that next time. So, do you have anything else before we move on to our music discussion?
I do not.
Okay. Well, let's get right into it. Um,
Well,
how do you want to begin this discussion?
I think we just put
What
out.
album did I recommend again?
You recommended All American Rejects.
Oh, right. Yes. Move Along by the All American Rejects was my recommendation. That's right.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
What'd you think of it?
Oh, anything that like it's such a dated album. The sound does
Yeah,
not
it
hold
is.
up. It is. There are a lot of tracks that you just listen to, you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is a blast to the past.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to rate it, 3 out of 10. I really like
Really?
like I mean, God, there's just every track is so just watered down. Really, nothing really stuck. Dirty Little Secret's still a fine song, but I think that's just more nostalgia talking. It ends
Mm.
tonight. All right, Move Along is kind of overplayed at this point and doesn't really have anything. Uh, it's just there's not a lot of substance to get out of a All American Rejects album in current
Yeah,
year.
I agree with you that the nostalgia factor is very strong, and that's honestly probably the main reason that I still like this album. Um, but yeah, I mean, fair. Anyway, you have any other thoughts on them before we get into my thing?
No, I don't really have a lot of thoughts about this. It was
Okay.
so like forgettable. Is
So,
the thing, yeah.
what was the
I
name of the album was
recommended,
Jane Doe,
yeah, I
right?
recommended
By
Converge.
Converge, yeah.
Way higher
So,
than I.
I only had I only had a chance to listen to it one time through,
Did you get to
and
read the
I
lyrics ahead
feel
of time?
like
Because I do think the lyrics play
I
out
like it,
pretty.
but I feel like if I listen to it again, a few more times, I feel like I could get into it. It's To me, it feels like one of those that sort of takes some getting used to.
The sound is quite
I don't know.
un-
It
harsh at first, I would say.
like the instrumental portions were fine. I liked it. The I feel like I just have to get used to the
Vocal
vocal
delivery.
delivery of the singer.
Oh, it's my favorite in metal.
Seems
He
to be
also
very
the artwork for the
you know,
album, that's the singer as well.
very I don't know. I can't really describe it honestly,
Can't.
but
Hmm.
it's it's not bad. Like I'll say that. It's definitely I think better than like I liked this more than the last couple recommendations you gave me. So that's something at least.
All right. So, I mean, do you have any like highlights on the record that you can think of?
Honestly, no. I like I said, I would have to listen to this again, and I might do that at some point soon. But
I recommend it
yeah, I mean, just
highly.
overall, it kind of it's like it was fine. It just I just have to kind of
Digest it.
give it a yeah. I think so. That's fair to say.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Jane Doe is abrasive to say the least.
Hmm.
I don't got a lot else to say
Okay. Well,
about.
should we move on
This
to
was a
our
very short.
should we move on to our recommendations for next time then?
Oh yeah, I'm excited because this one is a really recent record that I'm doing for you. I'm kind of jumping into it.
Okay.
The record is by a band. It was released, I think, actually, it was a few weeks ago, if that. I've really liked it so far. It's called Morbid Stuff by Pup. And I think you'll like this one a lot more. It's it's like pop punk infused with post hardcore,
Okay.
which is quite. I mean, there
Oh
are a
yeah, and
few
it is
bands
recent.
down this vein that I really like, but the ones that do it well, like Hotelier, uh, Jeff Rosenstock, I guess AJJ, but that's like they're different. AJ, uh, Andrew Jackson Jihad has a they're not like them because hard to explain, but it's this modern like blend of genres. And they're trying to like I mean pop punk ain't the most you can't really do a lot with it after a while, you know? It's kind of
Hmm.
is what it is. Not much else.
Okay.
But
Well,
it's still quite
like you
decent.
said, this album came out on April 5th, so it's only like less than 2 weeks old at this point.
It's a really
Um,
good record though. It's really nice.
so yeah, I'll definitely. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Should be interesting. Okay, so my recommendation for you this week. Now, there's a story behind this. So
That's always interesting.
I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but now, as you might have guessed, you didn't know me when I was a kid, but I was a really weird kid. Um, which is kind of obvious because I'm a really weird adult now.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
wow, thanks for just like agreeing with that without
No, yeah,
hesitation.
no problem. I wholeheartedly agree.
Okay. So anyway, um what was I even saying? Okay, so when I was a kid, I didn't get so much into like bands as I did into like individual songs. Where to the point where I would just like listen to the same songs over and over and over and over.
I still sometimes do stuff like that, like Old Town Road, fantastic song to spam over and over again.
So I like I said, I don't know if this has ever happened with you, but I found that when you listen to like a specific playlist of songs, or it could be just an album of songs, by one artist that you really like, that you listen to many times, and you listen to all the same songs in the same order. Your brain sort of does this trick, or at least mine does, where if you hear one of the songs from that playlist on its own, when it ends, the start of the next song starts like playing in your head, like you're anticipating it.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, this is the story behind this. So I was initially going to recommend an album. I was going to try to figure out which Bowling for Soup album to recommend to you.
Bowling for Soup?
Yeah,
Oh
because
my lord.
okay, I'm not recommending a Bowling for Soup album this week, but
You're saving
I
me a
just
lot of pain.
well, here's the thing that I like about Bowling for Soup really quick is that they are just like, they know what they are. Like, they are just pure pop punk, and they know exactly what they are, and once you just kind of accept that and accept them for what they are, their songs are kind of fun.
Yeah.
So like, here's the thing. I have no musical talent, but in my fantasies where I'm the singer for a successful rock band, we cover a lot of Bowling for Soup songs because they're just fun. Um
Okay.
so anyway, um uh I'm not recommending a Bowling for Soup album this week, but in listening to some Bowling for Soup
Yeah.
5, which of course is probably their best known song, which is a cover, by the way.
I know the cover. I know the band. I've listened to the band.
That was one of those songs that I just listened to over and over again when I was a kid.
I know SR-71.
And when I got to the end of it, my brain, of course, played that trick on me where it immediately started playing the beginning of the next song on that childhood playlist in my head. And that I went, oh, I know what I have to recommend this week. So I'm recommending the album that song came from, and you've probably heard this before, but the song is called "Believe," and the band is The Bravery, and the album is "The Sun and the Moon."
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know, really random, right?
The Bravery. The album is The Sun and the Moon.
"The Sun and the Moon" is the name of the album. Yes, have you heard this before?
What is this?
Have you actually not
Oh
heard
my
this?
god! I think I know what this band's gonna sound like.
Did I finally
they're like
find
Franz Ferdinand, and I love Interpol. Interpol is fantastic. Well, I mean, their first
Did,
album, and then they didn't evolve it, so they kind of suck. But yeah.
So wait, let's just be clear on this. Did I finally find a band or an album that I like that you have not heard?
I have not heard of this album.
Awesome.
I have not.
You've probably heard the song "Believe" at some point.
Yeah. It seems as
did-
though.
Did you ever play Madden 2008?
Oh!
Because
Yeah,
I was introduced to this band because that song "Believe" was on the soundtrack to Madden 08.
I'm gonna just play 5 seconds of it on stream or on the recording. Hopefully,
You'll recognize the riff at the beginning.
Yeah, I know it immediately.
Yep.
I know it immediately. That thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still really like that song a lot. It was one that I kind of attached to for some weird reason when I was a kid. And the whole album is actually solid, I think. So we'll see what you think of it, I guess.
All right. Yeah, they're like indie rock from the 2000s. That's fine.
Pretty much, yeah.
You got a lot of good albums to pick from that vein. Ooh, Joy Division. That's not I just saw Joy Division come up, and I'm like, ooh.
Okay, so that's my recommendation, and your recommendation was
Morbid Stuff
Morbid
by
Stuff
Pup.
by Pup.
I highly recommend listening to lyrics. Remember, lyricism in a lot of bands I listen to, very much so what I enjoy. Part of what I enjoy.
All right. Yeah, honestly, like I kind of feel the same way that I tend to listen to the lyrics too. Um, and I feel like that's actually kind of atypical for a lot of people. Like a lot of people when they listen to music, they just hear the
Superficial,
music.
it's production, it's many
Yeah.
different instrumentation. Yeah, but I prefer the
I've
lyricism
always
above a lot of things. That's one of my favorite things to dive into. That's why Danny Brown is considered my favorite rapper. That's
Mhm.
why Spiderland is my favorite album, and why I just die for lyrics that talk about a roller coaster so perfectly.
Well, I mean, for me it's why Nirvana's my favorite band. I mean, Kurt Cobain was a great lyricist
Yeah, he's a
above all else.
he's a he's
So,
a great singer. He's a great songwriter. Objectively.
so anyway, is there anything else you want to say before we sign
Not
off here?
really. I think this is I mean, short episode after a long one. That's not bad. However,
Yeah.
ah.
Bryce is typing. I'm excited.
I forgot to put the album The Sun and the Moon up.
Oh.
How dare I? How dare I? How
So,
dare I? There it is. Okay, cool. But yeah, there they are.
all right. So yeah, next week we'll have to put like Russell Wilson on the thumbnail just for good measure cuz we didn't have one this week. Um
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, pretty slow news week, so not really a whole lot to talk about there. So is there anything else new with you, Bryce?
New? Not really. Just kind of been.
I heard through Twitter that you had a bad experience with a graphics test.
Well, it's just naps, and
Yeah.
I
Naps test
answered
for that.
everything except for 3 questions, which means I probably did quite well.
Hmm.
That's why I said I got a D.
Yeah.
That's a naps exam for you.
Mhm. Yeah, his exams suck.
I got 107% on a Rubik's Cube assignment, though.
Oh, that's nice.
Like
Rubik's Cube, huh?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun to make.
What was that assignment? I don't think I had that one.
You basically, it's a he gives you a Rubik's Cube, right? And you got to make it move. And you got to
Okay.
also make it display all 6 of its sides for the user at once.
Okay.
Stuff like that. A lot of matrix manipulation. That's essentially what it boiled down to. But it was
That's
a lot
cool.
of fun to mess with. We had it scramble itself and then solve itself.
Hmm.
That was for our golly
Did you
points.
golly gee whiz points? I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, golly gee whiz.
I'm pretty sure I asked you about this, but did he give you guys pipe cleaners?
Yes. Wait.
wait.
Wait. I have pipe cleaners. I used them on the last exam. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I got U, V, and M, and
Yep.
normal vector. I don't really know what V is. I still don't know what U is. I just know that they mean X, Y, and Z.
Right. So, did you have to do the what was it called? There was an assignment that I had that had like a bunch of like dots that you had to make into a geometric pattern. I forget what it was.
Fractal?
What were they called?
You mean a fractal?
There was like one that was a dragon and one that was a galaxy, and there
Yeah,
was like
fractal.
a triangle one.
It's called a fractal. Ryan, hello? Hello, Ryan. Hello, hello, hello,
Oh,
Ryan.
are you not hearing me?
Ryan. Damn it, Ryan. 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 Damn it.
Okay. Are you hearing me now?
I can hear. I've been able to hear you.
Okay.
I've been able to hear you.
I think
It's
I
a
lagged for a
fractal.
little bit there.
It's a fractal.
A fractal. Thank you.
That is the assignment. Even the Mandelbrot fractal. I love fractals.
Fractals. That was a fun one.
Yeah.
Did you have to do the buckyball one?
I have no idea what that is yet, but we might.
Well, he might have done the Rubik's Cube instead, because
We-
last time the buckyball got like out of hand with people. Like they added a lot of sound effects to it. And it was really dumb. And he's like, I'm not impressed by sound effects. So stop adding sound effects to your assignments. So
So
like you're not gonna
yeah, I've been we did the torus, so we found the hidden pattern. It was funny because in class he actually was like showing us the mandrill, and I said, "Hey, does that still say graphics is cool?" And he's like, "Shit." Basically, you can just see him like, "How did you note that?" And I had to explain that I've already had him in a class, which he knew, but we've already done cryptography, and
Mhm.
so I kind of spoiled the surprise for anyone who didn't have him.
So yeah, graphics was fun. Are you still doing a semester like an end project, or are they not doing
The
that
video
anymore?
game thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that.
Mm. What are you doing for yours?
Minecraft, basically.
Okay.
Ryan and I. Not you, Ryan. Other Ryan.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, am I supposed to have been helping with this? I ever show you the game that I made with my friend Cooper
I don't think you
for
did.
that? It was called Space Rage. Space Rage 2 actually, because it was based on a game that one of my friends made in high school. But anyway, um basically you're flying a spaceship and you have to dodge asteroids and like try to pick up various objectives. So,
I see.
it was an interesting game. It was fun to make though. Really fun project.
I can imagine so. All right. Do you want to end it here, I guess?
Yeah. By the way, did Nap still have his stupid thing where he gives you his starter code for that project, and then his movement is set for like the really stupid keys, like F for forward, B for backward, that that sort of
He
thing?
does stuff like that where it's like counterclockwise is C and clockwise is L. It's
Yes.
just like,
Yeah. That
okay, that's really
the
not
first
intuitive.
thing the first thing that I did to my project when we got that is I just changed all of that to be WASD, like for standard movement.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, that's it. That's my work for today. Done.
Beautiful.
So,
So yeah.
all right. Um so I guess that's it. So
Next week is draft week, right?
is it? Let me check.
I think draft day is the.
Yes, the draft is the 25th. So I guess we'll be recording one more podcast before the draft, and
Yes.
then uh draft weekend is that following weekend, and then on Tuesday we'll recap all of that stuff, I imagine.
I imagine as well.
We're imagining.
All the people.
Oh, living for today.
Yep.
So I'm Tobias and that's Axe. We'll see you guys later.
All right. See ya next week.